Yo, YouTube, inside Chicago Cook County Jail.
Chicago's Cook County Jail is one of the largest and most notorious jails in the United States. Home to around 6,000 inmates, many of whom are heavily gang-affiliated, this is a massive correctional facility that has incarcerated some of Chicago's most infamous criminals like Al Capone, John Wayne Gacy, Larry Hoover, and King Von. Currently behind the barbed wire walls, Cook County sheriffs are battling against a serious and invisible drug epidemic called paper strips. What happens is smugglers take harmless-looking items like books, court documents, or family photos, and they soak them with synthetic chemicals ranging from cannabinoids to fentanyl, some of which are lethal and lead to overdose deaths. So today, Cook County Sheriff Tom Dart invites me in to show me how his team of officers fight against this problem. And we even see a raid on a high-security cell block that uncovers drugs and homemade shanks. So join us now, but first a quick word from the sponsor of today's episode. All right, folks, I'm sitting at the airport about to board a flight, and I got some time to make some money. Thank you, free cash. And now, back to the episode. Warning, this documentary contains raw footage of correctional facilities, substance abuse, and covers the topic of drug overdose deaths. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, call the national helpline you see on the screen.
Good warning, good warning, good warning. I think it's crazy how like jails just be like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I already got the heads up about you. You're good.
Thank you so much. All right, folks, we are at Chicago's
Man has a freaking pouch.
Jail. And we're going to be looking at their drug epidemic with the strips, the paper strips. And this is an extremely notorious Chicago jail. I mean, just where we are right now, this neighborhood is hotly contested Little Village territory where we have the 2-6ers, the Latin Kings, Satan Disciples, Maniac Disciples, and all sorts of gangs just all over the place right here. When they lock them up here, the guards have to figure out a way to keep it safe, which is a logistical challenge. This is a place I'm very excited to learn about. We'll bring you in just a moment.
That boy Tommy with the pouches.
Right, back in the paddy wagon
nicotine.
Again. I can't imagine spending any amount of time in a place like this. To do anything that frequently puts you back behind these walls, to me is kind of a mind-blowing loop to be stuck on for a human. But I also think it has so much to do with neighborhood, culture, and structure, and influences. That's one thing that if you want to change America from the ground up, we gotta increase fatherhood, we gotta make reading and learning cool, we gotta make cleaning up litter and taking care of the
how I tell you
cool.
They don't want to do that. That's the whole point.
Who are we with right now?
Tom Dart, Sheriff of Cook County. Tommy, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. And you're going to be taking us on a tour?
That boy is
we're
balding.
going to Division 6, which is one of the, oh God, about like 15 different divisions.
You just gotta let it go. Like at this point, once you get like here, and it's like, I'm saying like this, you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. Just let it go. Like it's not serving you no more. You just let it go.
That we have right now here at Cook County.
And do you know how many officers you have on staff at a given time?
Oh, a little under 3,000 correctional officers, correctional deputies, period, and run 3 different shifts. And depending on the population a little bit, it goes up and down a little bit.
So this paper strip drug epidemic has been a big challenge.
Ketamine
you
in
know,
it.
Tommy, the whole opioid epidemic that hit us about 5 or 6 years ago in this country hit everybody and hit every aspect of society pretty hard, so it was not unusual for it to appear here.
Are conjugal visits allowed here?
No. In visitations in jail, traditionally they occur behind bulletproof glass with little screens to yell through. We've allowed to where people are sitting at tables. Not only like we encourage the kids to hug their dad when they get there.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still jail, but yeah. On the Amazon packages.
Right to your right, sir.
So we're going to the basement of Cook County, and apparently it's like a tunnel system under here. Easy to get lost. This is a behemoth of a building. I mean, to house 6,000 inmates at a time and up to 9,000, just the infrastructure that needs to happen is considerable. You have to remember, a lot of jails are kind of like paramilitary organizations. They have a hierarchy in the guards, and there's a certain way you can walk and talk, and it's almost like boot camp for criminals, bad guys. So which unit are we in right now?
We're in Division 6 down in the basement, and we're heading to the mail room.
And this is known as kind of medium security area?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, bud. Good seeing you.
So this is seized paper strips.
Yes.
Yeah, that was one of the major problems, was two things. One, a lot of the stuff we were getting wasn't traditional narcotics. And so a lot of testing didn't show much, because originally when this first hit us, they were using stuff like rat poison. They were using...
People were smoking rat poison?
Oh yeah.
Not only is the substance easy to smuggle, but it's a Russian roulette of a drug because it's almost impossible to know what you are smoking. For example, there are reports of this paper drug being delivered coated in toxic compounds like roach spray and rat poison. Now folks, the most common chemical application on the strips is synthetic weed, which is also known as K2 or spice, which as a high school kid in Illinois in the early 2010s, I experienced this stuff firsthand. It is an incredibly intense high that sometimes resulted in me having to lay down and basically hallucinate for the first 10 or 15 minutes of the experience. And this is just another dangerous aspect of the strips because it can leave the intoxicated inmate incredibly vulnerable to being attacked, or in the case of what's happening in Georgia state prisons, tied up to be extorted for money. And so now Cook County sheriffs face a tough catch-22. They can either continue to allow physical paper documents through the mailroom, which civil rights advocates would say is a protected First Amendment right, or like other jails and prisons, they can completely ban mail altogether and force inmates to receive digital copies of communication.
So none of those things would hit if you test them, because they aren't illegal substances. We test enough of it just to know what it is people are trying to sneak in these days. And it's now like different variations of cannabinoids that they're doing that keeps changing. We put so much time and energy into this thing, buying machines, you know, not just dog sniffing, because none of the traditional stuff worked. We added all this stuff, but then we opened up all sorts of criminal investigations of people bringing it in.
This month, a corrections officer was accused of agreeing to smuggle in drug-soaked papers in exchange for $2,000.
Outsiders, insiders,
Shit,
bringing
never
it
that
in the whole
deep,
9
nigga.
yards. And in doing it, one of the times we did
Never that deep, my
we,
nigga.
did a search warrant, got in the house, and found all these things that this guy was using to make these compounds. And with it, he had like his formula that he was doing.
Yeah,
And
this
he
is some mad scientist
absolutely
kind of job.
And he was sending it out to other people too. He'd take money for it. A sheet this size would go for at least $1,500.
While filming another story I'm working on covering the programs offered to inmates within Cook County Jail, I got to speak with some of the inmates about the strip epidemic, and here's what they had to say about it. Strips a drug people do on the streets, or is that like a jail and prison only drug?
I think it's like a jail and prison only drugs.
No one's doing that in the streets,
no,
right?
No, nobody doing it in the streets. Because it's like, and here you really can't get what you get in the streets, so.
And what do you think motivates people to do strips?
I think some people, when they start doing strips and everything, I think some people just be bored because jail just is like a repeated thing.
And that's why programs like this are so important, because it takes some of the boredom out of jail?
Yes, sir.
What do you think motivates the guys doing the strips to do them?
Some people don't see the light. Some people feel like they never coming home. Some people have drug addictions prior to coming here, so it's a substitute.
Te puede matar en algún momento, te pone como estuvieras borracho.
Como un zombie?
Sí, te pone como un zombie.
Now we're about to be on our way to an active
Oh,
raid.
that nigga
We're
working in
happening.
a field,
We're
my
gonna go through a
nigga.
cell block and see if there's contraband in the unit.
Why they got Pablo in the
Now we're
field?
walking through legendary doors here.
That was kind
Anyone that is
of
in the
bad.
streets in Chicago knows about Cook County Jail. And famous rappers have been behind bars here. King Von, Little Dirk. So we're walking into, I think it's a briefing meeting for the guards before they do the search.
All right, we're going to Delta Jack, right? You guys already know with our pre-briefing, half in the front, half in the back. Everybody hits the floor. No deviation from that. Everybody hits the floor, everybody gets cuffed. When they hit the floor, make sure that you're observing, right? Make sure nobody's fiddling with anything in their waistband, trying to ditch any contraband, weapons, whatever. Cuff them. Once everybody's cuffed, a couple of you guys break off upstairs. We'll make sure the bathrooms upstairs are clear. Everybody gets assisted to their feet, escorted to the wall. Everybody gets a good pat down. They're going indoor rec. Be safe. You guys know who your partners are. Where your partner goes, you go, okay? Nobody's alone. But we gather information through various avenues to determine who has the contraband. Which person, maybe it's not on person, maybe it's under a sink, maybe it's somewhere under a water closet, somewhere they have easy access to. But through various ways of information, that's how we get it and we narrow it down. All the information together, like, okay, I heard it from here, we got it from here, we got it from here, it's all linking up, then we go hit it.
All right, here we go. You always feel the excitement in the air before a raid. These officers are getting ready to launch a full-scale blitz on a maximum security unit. In order to overwhelm and quickly subdue every single inmate, they are going to sweep the pod from 2 different entry points with the goal of no inmate being able to have the time to hide contraband or flush drugs down the toilet. Let's see how this goes down. You think the inmates know you guys are coming?
It's 50-50. We usually don't hit it this late, so it might be a good chance that they don't think we're coming. Here you go.
They got everyone on the ground. The first step is securing everybody. Look, you see people peeking their heads out of their cell too. But to be an inmate and to not know when this is gonna happen, that at any moment throughout the day, they can come in, rush you, and start the search. If you're on the side of smuggling, you have to stay on your toes at all times. What are we looking at so far?
So you have a shank made out of a screw. And then here you got what we call roaches, right? We haven't opened it up yet.
That's fine.
This was laying on the ground. This was laying on the ground.
But you think that's strips?
So usually, typically, yeah, each roach will contain multiple strips.
What's this?
This is basically what it is cellophane that's rolled, right? And they roll it until it gets really hard. And what they'll do is they'll stick it like in a sock, they'll tie it into it, and they'll use that as a weapon. Here it's a magic shave cream, but it's filled with feces.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's a weapon, a biological weapon?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what would be the other purpose of filling poop in that?
What I like to think is I feel like we've been doing pretty well recovering weapons, right? So this is like their last resort.
Okay, so right now behind us, one by one, every single inmate is being searched, and a search is an unpleasant experience. I mean, some of these guys are getting their shoes taken off, socks taken off, they're getting felt around the groin area, the most common smuggling areas. Another shank.
Yeah. This is a wick.
That's out of toilet paper?
I believe this is toilet paper. Yes, toilet paper. So what they do is they'll light one end of it. This is what they use to start, light up fires. Or the roaches that you saw earlier, these, that's how they light them up.
One thing to highlight, look, so this is made out of a hailer, a medically necessary piece of equipment, but if abused can be turned into something that can stab somebody. And this is the fine line that a jail has to operate, is human freedoms, healthcare, danger. Another thing to note here is I was curious how the segregation might work, but I do see Latinos, blacks, mixed. Some jails racially segregate, some do it by gang, some do it by age, some do it by level of danger to society. But how you sort people is a recipe that can either make safety or danger depending on how you do it. A logistical question that every jail has to think about. So anyone that is wearing a green jumpsuit, it's apparently because they've either indecently exposed themselves or got caught masturbating.
We tell everyone not to search the day room, especially when there's none of these guys present. These individuals, if there's stuff hidden in the toilets, under the toilets, the main thing with that is, this is priority. Clearing the tier, making sure all of them are gone. If there's a weapon or some drugs in that toilet, it's not going anywhere.
Does each guy have a bathroom in their cell too?
Yes. Yes.
So this is the community room if they're out and about. Are they allowed to have any sort of towel?
No. Another shank.
Another shank?
I knew I saw something. Looks like to be another screw. Make sure it's just clear. This is the only division that has these where you can kind of control. Your skin's got to touch it, but see, that's a problem too. If it's not lighting with the skin, that means that it's tampered with.
And what are the implications of this being tampered with?
They could loosen these screws, which allows this to come up, exposing the wires, attempt to light fires, or just conceal contraband in there. I mean, these guys have all day, every day to figure out how to hide this stuff. So we just start from the back and just work our way this way. But every nook, every cranny has to be searched. Excess food. So I usually start with the windows, just because it's all the way on the end. They can hide stuff in there. So when we're doing this, the main thing we want to do is we don't want to mess up their stuff. We don't want to be bogus. But for us, we go picture by picture, paper by paper. These guys are ingenious. They could have 2 pieces of paper glued together with drug-soaked paper in between them, and just any quick glance, you wouldn't even notice. So this is usually a big indicator, the holes in the mattress. This guy, well, he had something in there. So yeah, with these books, you just essentially, yeah, these might just be bookmarks, but we gotta make sure that they're just bookmarks. Because in between any of these pages could potentially be, and not even just drug-soaked paper either, staples, paper clips, tattoo needles, really anything.
Do raids happen on a daily basis?
Well, that's our whole function. I mean, we wouldn't describe them as raids. They're targeted searches or just regular tier searches. They have to be done. It all depends on the information we have, the intel we have will determine if we're gonna make a strategic entry through the front door, the back door, both. If we're just gonna hit a cell or 2, it all depends. A lot of planning goes into each one of these.
Have you seen any overdoses happen in these units?
Yes.
In 2023, Cook County Jail had 18 inmate deaths, and a third of those were due to drug overdoses, making this drug problem the single greatest cause of unnatural death in the facility.
The 50th time this year, the Cook County Sheriff's Office makes an arrest related to drug-soaked paper,
including occasionally the guards themselves.
This month, a corrections officer was accused of agreeing to smuggle in
That shit
drug-soaked
crazy, Muzz.
papers in exchange
It's
for
never that deep.
$2,000.
Folks, because smuggling a single soaked piece of paper can be worth as much as $10,000, and because it is also very difficult to detect who the dealer is that is smuggling in the drugs, my gut tells me that the economic incentives are too high for this problem to go away anytime soon. Which would you say is more dangerous, the gang violence or the strips?
They're both just as important, right? But the paper drugs have been prevalent for the last, how long? It's really picking up steam. But the problem is that with the paper drugs, it's dangerous to not only them, but it's also dangerous to us as well. That kind of might tip the scale a little bit.
Justin Wilkes, Chief of Investigations and Intelligence.
And what's been grinding your gears lately?
Oh, you look like
Well,
that
for
much.
the last couple of years, saturated paper inside the jail. Back in 2023, we had our first death from smoking the saturated paper, and I feel like ever since then, that's been kind of a thorn in the side of the sheriff's office.
And what is this drug?
I don't know exactly how to describe it. Because they're all different kinds. There's synthetic cannabinoids, synthetic opioids, synthetic hallucinogens, and so we don't really know. Each one's different. The inmates have a term they use, and when the more potent it is, they'll call the stuff death.
Did you get something over here?
Yeah.
Can you show me what that is?
They must have had a wick and that started these on fire.
So are they making homemade joints? Do they have a piece that they're hitting?
Yeah, they're making homemade joints.
When you guys raid a cell, how often are you finding contraband?
We find it every single time.
Every single time. So it never stops.
Never stops, ever.
I know you're about to search a cell?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to search it and then walk us through what's going through your head as you're searching?
Sure. So I start from the top all the way here, and I'm just looking for anything that they either stuff inside of like these lights, and this came off of the top, so I'm gonna go through it, see if it looks saturated or if they hid anything in there.
How long you been doing this for?
I am going on my 4th year.
And what's it like?
Okay, she knew.
You know what? I really do like it, and it's
Nah.
But are you attracted to the adrenaline, the excitement?
Yeah, I guess so. And here, in between these little joints, they stuff stuff too. This is just a wrapper, but sometimes they put like the Suboxone strips in here, but nothing's in here.
Which drug would you say causes you the most trouble nowadays?
Probably the drug-soaked paper.
It looks like a very uncomfortable drug to do.
It's actually kind of scary, the way they look when they're on that. Doesn't look like it's enjoyable.
What do we have here? What are we looking for?
Well, we search everything.
But don't they
so
like?
This was tied down.
Is it not like smoking
like
it?
This they can't keep. It's like a handmade bag, so it's considered contraband because they do get a shower bag already. They hide stuff in here a lot. I found Suboxone a few times, so I always open their mineral cream.
So you're the tester?
I'll do the testing and write down exactly what was found, like the contraband they're not supposed to have, but if they bring suspected paper, this one's for
Pudding blend.
synthetic cannabinoids, and then but we also have other tests. So we have the multi, could be fentanyl, heroin, cocaine, meth, MDMA, or we have the opioids test. But you basically just rub on the paper that you think is suspect narcotics. Once you rub it on the paper, there's like 2 vials in the test kit.
And it'll come back positive or negative.
So this one, like, didn't show anything. So it's not, if it's actually something, it's gonna look like this one here.
No, this is nothing.
Like you can see the different discoloration, and it shows brown would be the cannabinoid.
Yep.
So this is hooch. This is jail-made alcohol. The start of it. You can see there's a little bit of the juice. But they put a lot of different things. Like one time I found one with corn in it.
Yeah.
Whatever starts it from like the yeast or whatever, that's what they wanted to make that alcohol.
And can you describe the scent?
That's disgusting.
It's crazy because it actually smells like alcohol, but it also smells really bad.
If someone is caught smoking a strip, do they get extra time added to their sentence?
So we will charge them an additional crime. So anybody that is in possession of the saturated paper, depending on the schedule of narcotic that it comes back from the lab being, it's a lot of times it's a class 1 felony.
What is a hit on a paper strip run for in these jails?
So depending on the potency, we've seen it up to $10,000 for an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So they will cut those up into little $25 strips.
And that's where the overdose comes in, is it's hard to judge the potency until you've tried it.
Right. Yeah, and each guy is trying to outdo the other guy.
What can a successful paper strip dealer stand to make in a month, you think?
In our one case that we had, the guy was bringing in, I don't know, so it's hard to tell because he was distributing it throughout the country. So it wasn't just here that he was doing it, but he was bringing in, I would say, over $100,000 a month.
Does it blow your mind to see people return again and again and again to conditions like this?
Yeah, our system is broken. Prior to this, I worked at IDOC as well, at Stateville Penitentiary.
What are the differences that you've noticed working both jail and prison?
Prison, you got guys with guns watching you, unlike here. It's more, I say it's more controlled. You'd be walking the line of guys and you got guys with guns on top watching you, making sure nothing happens to you and or anyone else. So.
What is it like being lied to so frequently?
It's hard because you can't, because when you want to help someone, you really don't know if they're telling the truth or not, or they're just trying to spin you to gain whatever it is that they're trying to achieve.
Now that you've witnessed a raid reveal weapons and drugs, let's take you to the basement of Cook County Jail where much of the battle against smuggling is fought. Tell me about your role in this operation.
What we do is we search the mail as it comes in. They go through all the mail, but they do not open anything. They just separate it per division. Yeah, we go over and take all the mail and bring it back over here, and we will open it by hand, and we will search everything.
Here they have a mailroom and drug detection laboratory where specialized officers hand search through the packages, letters, and books that come in, and they use infrared scanner technology to hunt for the invisible paper spray drugs. If you were to guess, like what are the different things we're looking at here?
Our first instinct when we look at a book, it's all starting to fade here and getting all watered.
And so there's sophisticated communication going on where they know, hey, look for pages 152 and 171,
Correct.
And that's my drug.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
So the vast majority of the book could be innocent, but 3 pages are what can make someone a few $1,000s.
So it is time consuming. You got to go like through each page and like look at each one might be different.
So this is a recipe an inmate wrote to somebody else?
Correct.
Okay, let me just read this out. This is a pretty crazy mixture. K2 spray, which that in itself, wild. Embalming fluid, purple can of Raid, boil the leaf with the water, nail polish remover, fertilizer, bed bug spray.
Yes.
You guys need to think of better drugs. This is wild to put in your body. How
Very
often
wild to put in
is
your
a
body.
smuggling attempt made, do you think?
Nigga,
I
bed
don't
bug
have,
spray?
like, real stats, but I would say daily. Just the amount of paper that we found in here saturated with something would lead me to believe that it's coming in from every avenue that's possible.
And then you walk a weird line between inmate rights and inmate safety.
Right.
Tell me about that.
Most of them are not convicted of a crime yet. They're here facing their trial, and so they're innocent until proven guilty. And so there's this feeling that you want to have, they have rights, and that they want to be able to communicate with their family on the outside world, and you want that for them. You just have to understand that some people take advantage of that.
Folks, keep in mind that Tom Dart and his team at Cook County could easily eliminate most of this drug problem by completely banning all physical mail, but they intentionally choose not to. Instead, they believe that the family connection that comes from getting real photos and letters is worth the risk and is a key part of the rehabilitation process. Can you explain what's happening right now around us?
So this is the mail room for Division 6, so all mail coming from the outside, from family members, the whole 9 yards comes in here. Before we give it to them, it's examined by machines and by humans to make sure it doesn't have any type of contraband in there. But for our purposes, the big part we're looking for is drug-soaked paper, but we're also looking for everything else under the sun.
You want to check out this machine?
Yeah, if we could. This was something that we got in when things started really heating up and things were really getting difficult.
They call it a T-ray machine. It's not an X-ray machine, so it's safe for your hand. It's not going to have X-rays, something that's going to hurt your body. What they do is when we get the mail, you put it on here, and it calibrates to the machine. But these are 6x9s. You can select standard mail 6x9 up to 10x13s. So this is 6x9. So once you put it on, as you can see, all these red lines, and it's like an air movement. But no matter how much I try to push the air out, all the red, which is deep saturation, comes back in again. And
so that indicates there's some uneven weight distribution.
Correct, of saturation, some kind of saturation, some kind of moisture that's inside it.
So you're suspect of this envelope?
Yes, this one is definitely suspect.
So what would be the next step with something that you might identify
So I will take
as
this,
potential
I'll take this
contraband?
back, we'll have it tested, and we'll have it sent for destruction. Now see, this one has a little bit, this is just air, because as you can see, as I can move it, and it stays gone. See, there's nothing there. So this one's good.
How do you quantify the mail that you guys receive on a weekly basis?
Yesterday we had 270 yesterday, and out of that we confiscated 20.
So about 10% of the mail is potentially compromised.
Correct. That's correct. Now see, this one is extremely, there's no way I can get that out of there.
What we're seeing is that the technology's had to adapt. Crime is an interesting
That shit could,
balance
much.
because the criminals are always innovating. They're always going to be slightly ahead of law enforcement, and then they go here, and then they go here. It's kind of like a chess match.
There's a couple things. One, they can repackage it. If it comes in, they'll just, seal it back and ship it back. Another thing is third-party Amazon. You could get a book and sell it on Amazon, and Amazon gives you shipping labels saying it's coming from Amazon. Technically not coming from Amazon, it's coming from you.
Do you ever find yourself being impressed by the ingenuity of these guys?
Oh, all the time.
What do you think it would take to have these guys harness that energy in a positive direction in the free world?
Literally.
Desire to do it? Sorry. What is that? There's Suboxone right there in the seam.
So that orange strip is Suboxone?
That's Suboxone.
I thought this book was going to pass. Right over here we caught another one, it looks like, guys.
The texture on this right here, you can tell it's been manipulated already.
So just to get a baseline, this is a clean sheet?
Correct. Yeah.
So clean sheet, okay.
And then just go ahead and feel
drag
it.
your finger across.
Just keep on. Be careful with that.
It takes a fine touch because the ordinary person, if they're not trained, I would just pass this. I have no idea that this is.
Yeah, no, that's right away. You can tell its texture.
Substances are making it to the city, and then orders are made from inside to out. Unless you just completely ban paper, I don't see how you stop this problem.
Director Yassine, I run the Intelligence Center for the Cook County Sheriff's Office. Been with the department 24 years.
Niggas is really out here smoking paper. No, like I'm gonna do that when I was legit, but that's not that.
8 years.
How do you solve the strip problem?
Eliminate any mail coming in here and just make it all electronic.
What do you think motivates these guys to take the strips?
You know, I wish I had an answer for that. What makes them
Yeah,
want
they
to
might
do
as well
it?
just make it electronic.
Chasing the high? I don't know.
Currently within these jail walls, which is more dangerous? Gang violence or the paper strips?
I would say the paper strips.
Folks, that was a look into Cook County's drug smuggling epidemic. Thank you to Tom Dart.
For
and his
sure,
team
make
for
it
letting us in. And we have another
electronic.
piece coming with them soon. We cover their programming, their welding,
Maybe not
their
like
pizza kitchen, their
books,
rescue
but
dog
I don't know how
program.
that'll
It's
work.
really
But
cool,
like,
innovative stuff that I'm excited to show you. And folks, if you want to support the channel, rock the Big Dog merch, look no further than TommyGMcGee.com. Get a sweatshirt, get a shirt, hat should be on there soon as well. Get what you like, check it out. I appreciate the support, and I'll see you next week.
Tommy G, WB. Like, comment, subscribe.